Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining me for the empath video or empath video. Alright, so tonight I'm going to talk about being an empath, what it involves if you're not sure what it is or you don't know if you know any empaths. And this is also for people who suspect they're an empath and for existing empaths that are very aware of the fact that they're empaths. Okay, so the first thing I want to share for newcomers or people that are unsure is the definition of an empath. And an empath is defined as a highly sensitive individual who has a keen ability to sense what people around them are thinking and feeling. Psychologists may use the term to describe a person who experiences a great deal of empathy, often to the point of taking on the pain of others at their own expense. Alright, this happens to a lot of people, and the reason I'm actually doing this talk is because many people on some of the Facebook groups I belong to have expressed, I can't stand the thought of the holidays, I'm dreading the holidays, I don't want to go into the malls, I don't want to do family functions, I hate the crowds, I don't like to be around people, etc., etc. I first want to make it known that I've been through that myself, and I know that it can make you quite withdrawn and reclusive at times because of that overwhelming feeling. Alright, so like I say, some of you are new to this, you have no idea, and hopefully you can learn something from it, whether you are a newly discovered empath, someone who's not familiar with empaths, or a well-seasoned empath that is well versed in it and has learned how to control it or manage it, etc. So, on that note, the first question I want to ask, hypothetically obviously, is why are you here? Why do you go to Facebook groups, etc., looking for like-minded individuals, when the irony is that empaths don't like crowds? Yes, it's social networking, but it's still reaching out and maybe getting to the point where you're talking with someone else, or perhaps even meeting up for coffee, etc., reaching out when reaching out's not really your thing. And the answer to that is that that's exactly it. You're looking to find that there are people like you out there, that you're not alone in this. And I have so many people, even this evening I was still looking at comments when I posted the reminder for the video, people saying, oh, it's so nice to know that I'm not alone. I can let you know for sure 100% that there are thousands upon thousands of you out there. Many people experience it, they don't even know what they're going through, and empathy is quite a natural thing. But if you're looking and seeking out other people who are empaths, and you're feeling overwhelmed and you suffer from depression, maybe because of that or other external factors, you've got anxiety for whatever reason, and you're seeking out other people to identify with, then you're seeking out other empaths because inherently on some level, even if it's subconsciously, you believe that it can be managed and that you can gain control of it. And that is why you're here. That is why you go to those groups, because you believe that there is a way, and perhaps those empaths can assist you. And you're 100% right. So the pure fact that you believe that it can be managed means that it's totally possible, and you believe that it's possible. So the fact that you're now suffering with anxiety, depression, etc., is a temporary thing, because you are going to get a handle on it. And hopefully I can help with that. Alright, I'll give some little tips here and there, and see if we can get around it and get the ball rolling. Okay, so how you manage being an empath. I first want to let you know that being an empath, empathy is a divine and positive energy. It's not something to be looked negatively at, despite what you may be going through. Empathy can be quite empowering and can be very useful. And like I said, it's a positive energy. You can't say that being empathetic is a bad thing. It's a positive divine energy. And the way that we use that is by just learning to transmute it and not being overwhelmed by having feelings and being a good person. It shouldn't become a negative thing. What I often teach people, especially when I do like a healing kind of a thing to teach people, is when someone realizes you're an empath, or you relate to them because you feel their energy, or you pick up on their emotions, they immediately think, oh, thank goodness, somebody to offload on, and they give you all their stuff. They offload and they tell you all their problems, And sometimes really strangers that you've hardly even known for 5 minutes will tell you their whole life story. And what a lot of empaths do, which is not very good for you, is to take that story and keep that stuff. You take their parcel and you take it from them because you're an outlet. This person needs to offload. And you identify with that, you recognize it, and they offload on you, but you keep that parcel. And that's when you make the mistake. You need to be a conduit. You're there to say to them, okay, give me whatever it is that you can't handle. I will help you to get rid of it. But then you let it go. And you let it go to whatever you want to call it, whatever your belief systems are. You let it up into the ether, into the universe. You let it, give it to God, give it to the angels. But you cannot keep that within you. Because the next person will come along, and the next person, and the next person, and they're offloading all their stuff on you. And you can't cope with that. So you need to take it from them, but realize and identify, that's not my stuff. I'm doing them a favor. I'm delivering their parcel because they don't know how. And the minute that clicks, you'll find that it is much easier. Also, to live in the moment and be a bit more positive on a daily basis. If you have to go to the mall this festive season, don't focus on, oh, that baby's crying, he's miserable, why haven't they taken him home? I can't handle the screaming, that old man's in a wheelchair, he's had enough of shopping, why haven't they taken him? He must be in agony. I can feel how much his legs hurt, all of this stuff. Instead, try and focus on the positives. Look at the couple holding hands, or the baby who's loving looking through the window at all the beautiful things, admiring the Christmas tree, whatever. Look at the positives and identify those. And try and swap the way you think. And when you have a negative emotion, a negative thought, try and get rid of that too and say, how can I replace it with something positive? And it sounds really cheesy, but it really works. And if you can start these small steps, this will change things for you. Look at your empathy as a gift and something that is really a tool that you can use to help other people. The minute you start helping other people, or you get something good out of it, even once, and that person says thanks for helping, and you actually feel good about helping and listening, because that's often all you have to do, instead of saying, oh, I'm so bogged down now, that person really depressed me. Walk away saying, it actually felt good to help that person. They've offloaded, and I've taken their stuff and offloaded it as well. So the job is done, and I feel good now because I've managed to help somebody. I've taken a little bit of their burden because I'm a conduit for that. I can do that. I can help them. And that you will find empowering. And you also need to set healthy boundaries. Don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let them offload all the time. Don't let them become emotional vampires and woe is me, woe is me, woe is me every day, because that's also not healthy. That's not balanced, and that's just not okay. Set those healthy boundaries, however you're going to do it, but stand up for yourself. Know that you are empowered by having the knowledge on how to do this now, and also to identify where they come in. There's one last thing I want to talk about, and I think that I must cover that in another video sometime, but we will talk about energy vampires and people who are what I call empathetic, and I do literally mean empathetic, because it gets to a point where it's ridiculous and they actually feed off the compassion and the empathy of other people. But I think I'll do a separate video for that. I'm going to say goodbye for now, or just about, because I want to read one last thing from you, for you. There is a deity in Taoist Buddhism called, let me just find her now, Kuan Yin. And I have a depiction of her here somewhere. Where did I put her? Typical. I've moved her where I can't find her. Here we go. Okay, so Kuan Yin is the embodiment of compassion. Can you see her? Cool, calm and collected and peaceful. And she learned her compassion through a father who was quite abusive, even back in that day, and forgiving him over and over and over, and being empathetic and compassionate. There's another depiction of her. And she is love, compassion, healing. She reminds you that you are being showered with love and light, and you must accept this gift. and in it you will find a newfound joy, and this new life and joy in life will replace your sadness, whatever that is, anxiety, stress, whatever you get from feeling this empathy. And to close off, I'm going to read from the book about Kuan Yin. It says, for us to have the beginnings of true peace and to extend a compassionate hand to others, we must start with compassion for ourselves. Accepting who we are and where we are at without judgment are wise places to begin. Should Kuan Yin make herself known to you, it may be a signal to be kinder to yourself and forgive yourself for past actions. She is also an action-orientated deity that appreciates changes when you make them. She is calm and loving. However, she enforces that displaying martyr-like energy is not what she asks. We do not have to put ourselves last in order to be compassionate or empathetic. There is a balance. Okay, so next time we will talk about people who take being an empath to another level, want people doting on them and saying, are you okay, can I get you a cushion? And like, oh, I feel everyone's emotions, I'm so overwhelmed, and make it all about them. And they're actually feeding off other people's energy and the energy of other empaths. And a lot of people are not going to like that discussion because they're going to say, well, that's what being an empath is, and I strongly disagree. Being an energy vampire and being empathetic with the emphasis on pathetic is not the way to go. And it doesn't help anybody else, and you're taking advantage of others. Sucking other people's energy is not being an empath. So we're going to talk on that some other time. So in closing, some people think, well, I must be safe with other empaths. You know, this is the group that I've been looking for. This is the safe place. But be careful. If that person is constantly telling you the same story over and over, if they're constantly looking for your time, demanding that you message them straight away because I'm panicking, help me, help me, help me all the time, or they get onto their video and they just complain about how their life sucks and make it all about them, you know, you won't believe what happened today, the dog got sick and this happened and that happened, and every time they speak or open their mouths, whether it's on social media or not, or in private, it's me, poor me, I'm so bad off and my life sucks and all of this, and you are expected to dote and say, don't worry, I feel for you because I'm an empath, it's my job to feel sorry for you. No. Healthy boundaries. Think about them, where you need to apply them, and people are taking advantage of you. And we'll talk about that again next time. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I hope you got something out of this, and if you feel you need to contact me, you need help with something, I also do readings, oracle cards, etc. If you need some guidance, I'm happy to help, and I will help on anything that you want to expand on from here. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.